But then what happened, if some of you are old enough to know, the prime went to very high. And so I looked around the room like this and I said, do I want to weather this economic cycle and stay in real estate and get out? And I said, no. So I said, why not get into banking? So that's what I started interviewing and in the banking. There I was again, a rookie. And this time I had to face abuse. So if you want to write down where it says abuse, then the obstacle to abuse is denial. Denial is saying no to courage. That means we are not facing the first red flag. If you are at the highest integral level of courage consciousness, and I have a chart on this, you are alert in the present to the first red flag. You don't need 2 and you don't need 3. Okay? You're able to respond in that moment. So the courage action to that is remove yourselves from bad situations quickly, quickly. Which reminds me of this birthday card I just got one of my friends. I hope she's still my friend when she reads it. That I was in a store and this woman has obviously gone up to a counter of a young woman and says, could you please tell me where the anti-aging cream is? She said, aisle 8. Hurry! Oh, I hope my friend is still my friend. God, been friends for 30 years. This may be it. So anyway, there I was hired for banking. I was at an entry level, just business development means sales. I have to go out and try to bring in business. I didn't know banking. I didn't know anything about it. And so my boss, who I always said to everybody, I've never had a boss, and I go, your boss, Sandra. The chairman of the board said, Sandra, go out on this call to this man in Century City and see about whether or not we want to bring this business in. I'm like, holy moly. Because that really wasn't what I said. Holy moly, I don't know anything about how to judge whether or not this is a profitable piece of business, whether or not we want it. So there I go, I get in my car, I'm decked up, I got my briefcase, and I go up to the 35th floor in Century City in the high-rise building, which is in between Westwood and Brentwood, you know, uptown, okay? West Side. And I go and meet him, and I give him my card, and he goes, I rarely meet with anybody below president. Maybe vice president, and and there's my card, whatever it was, like entry-level business development or something, you know, I mean, you know, like holy moly. So anyway, I go into his big office, floor-to-ceiling windows, this desk, he's got on his crisp, you know, white shirt and suit, and sitting there in his desk, and really there was all sorts of this empty room. I thought, that's kind of odd. Why is this big office read all this, and you know, this is it, okay. So he starts pontificating about the business he's going to give us, and how we're going to be so lucky to have this business, and on and on and on about, you know, the value of his business. And so I'm taking my notes, because I'm a rookie, and I'm taking my notes, and he says, so, what do you think? Is this a piece of business that you want? And I said, well, you know, I've taken copious notes, and I'm going to go back and present it. No. I want you to tell me right now, is that a yes or is that a no? So I think there's a red flag there. And you don't really have time to say, gee, I think I'll go get a latte and think about this. Can I come back? You know, and so I decided right at that moment, which is what courage is, why not pick up my briefcase and say thank you, nice meeting you, and walk out? And that's exactly what I did. And when I did that, he was so flustered that he came over and he followed me all the way out to the big elevator, just like this. And he said, you know, this is a small town. I'm thinking, really? West LA? You know, this is a small town. And so there I am now, shaking in my boots like, oh my God, I mean, you know, that split second, you know, kind of thing. So I go back, there's no cell phones. I go to the first telephone, what are they called? Cro-Magnon time period, okay. Phone booth, thank you. And I call my boss and I say, okay, you're either going to fire me or you're going to be happy. And he said, let's hear it. And I said, well, he started this, and I told the story, and he starts laughing, and he says, hold on. Let me put you on speakerphone. The president and the executive vice president are in my office right now and tell us all that story. So I started telling the whole story and said, no, that's it. And they just cracked up, and I didn't take very long where I was an assistant vice president and then became vice president of private banking. So what I want to tell you is that courage will never be an app. Courage is an inside job. Okay? So, yeah. Sorry, guys. I don't care where social media is, and join me on Facebook, and blah blah. And tweet. I'm the courage expert. Sandra Walston, the courage. But it'll never be an app. So the last one is just took place in May and June. Oh, this is really the courage to be vulnerable. And I had written 3 books, which I consciously chose to sacrifice my life and to be disciplined, which that means I didn't have any dates, okay? So my friends said, Sandra, you really need to join Match.com and start dating. I hear some laughter out there. So I said, why not join Match.com and try to have life? Because I had freed it up, so to speak. And so I signed up for 6 months, and I was going nowhere fast. I mean, I had like maybe 2 weeks left of my 6 months, and I'd had one date. He lied about his age. And so then I said, okay, I'm going to shift my standards. He's not going to be 5'10", 5'8" is okay. And if he lives in Loveland or Fort Collins North, okay, I'm going to, I only got 2 weeks left, so. So I shifted those standards and started connecting with somebody, and we were really progressing, but he had to go out of town. I mean, we were connecting, and he had a point to say, see, not getting together right away, we've built a deeper connection. I thought, he's right. We are building more of a friend. He said, even if we'd have got together right away, Sandra, we would have been nervous. Even if she was beautiful and he was handsome, we would have been nervous, and there wouldn't have been the composure that was there. I thought, he's got a point. Do you know where I'm going with this? So, before I know it, he's gone, and he's gone, and he's gone, and he needs $32,500 to get home for this project he was doing. I had picked up on it 2 weeks before that I was dealing with a scam artist. And I did report him, I was unwilling to be manipulated. I not only reported him to Match, but I reported him to the Internet Crime Complaint Center. Don't mess with a woman who has courage. In closing, you do not want to be filled with regrets in your life. Just think right now, what percentage of your life is filled with regrets rather than why not? Regrets are lost courage. The Dalai Lama said it will be the Western woman that saves the world. That will not happen without the collective feminine energy of courage. So what would you do right now if you had unlimited courage? And I always think about what Lily Tomlin said. All my life, I've always wanted to be somebody, and I realize now I should have been more specific.